ESPN reports that the Lakers are now targeting UConn's Dan Hurley as their next head coach and preparing what Woj described as a quote-unquote massive long-term contract offer to land the coach of course, back-to-back national champs. ESPN cited sources who say Hurley, now 51, has often talked about his ambition to one day coach in the NBA and has expressed to the Lakers a desire to explore coaching one of basketball's winningest franchises. Now, Lakers have already conducted interviews, some multiple case interviews with J.J. Redick, James Borrego, and Sam Cassell, and David Adelman, and Mark Stein reported today that Monty Williams is still a possibility if he gets fired in Detroit. But Woj says the Lakers' primary focus has always been on Hurley. So, Keyshawn, you being the lifelong Laker fan that you are, would Dan Hurley be an okay fit or a good fit or even a great hire?
I take him out of the okay category and put him in the good category. He's not quite great. Okay, and that's only because he's not coming from an NBA championship level. He's coming from an NC2A championship level, which still gives pretty good skins on the wall. Back-to-back champions at UConn. Yeah. He's won everywhere he's been. He's turned programs around everywhere he's been. He has a rich basketball history. So when I look at it, great hires, could you get Eric Spoelstra, Ty Lue? That becomes great, right?
Yeah, I agree.
This is a good, stabilized potential hire for now and the future as he grows into the position of learning how to coach in the NBA, because the NBA obviously is much different than college basketball. I mean, it just is. From the recruiting aspect of things to monitoring players, all of that is so different. In college, he's got so much on his plate in college. He's got to worry about if a guy goes to class. He's got to worry about if a guy's in trouble. He's got to worry about if the guy, all of a sudden, he's 20 years old and he has a girlfriend who has a baby. He's got to worry about her complaining. He's got to worry about a guy transferring who wants more money NIL.
Yep.
All that's off his plate. All his focus now on is basketball. Okay, he doesn't have to handle the recruitment. Maybe he goes to a dinner in free agency, but Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, and the rest of them will handle all of that. You just come to dinner and close it out with us. Okay. So it's much easier for him as a basketball coach, in my opinion. Now you think about LeBron James. Okay, so you with LeBron for 2 seasons. It's about the future. You with LeBron for 2 seasons, and clearly, if this is going to happen, they're going to get the blessings of LeBron James, because you're not going to alienate your star player by just doing something abruptly without having some sort of buy-in communication with him and Anthony Davis about where you're going and where you're headed. So I like it. Here's the, I guess if you want to call it negative side of things, he's a first-time NBA head coach coming from college. College coaches going to the NBA as well as the NFL just doesn't work out. It hadn't worked out for him. Although Brad Stevens, I could say he did a pretty good job in Boston. I could also say
doing maybe a better job upstairs.
And that could be the case. Yep. Billy Donovan, certainly coming from Florida, did a pretty good job at OKC, even though the deck was stacked. This is a pretty 2 of the top 10 players in the NBA on all NBA teams. So you're getting something. He's not coming in with the cupboard bare, right, Paul? Mm-hmm. So now you say, what about Calipari? What about Rick Pitino? Rick Pitino's okay at the Knicks. Went to the playoffs twice. Not so good at the Celtics.
Because Larry Bird wasn't walking through that door.
So you see the pros and the cons, Skip, in Paul, about a college coach going to the pros and not really being a part of a pro system. I don't think that's going to be a problem with him. I mean, I like it if this is going to happen. I'd rather sign off on this than somebody who has never coached before.
Well, I'm not so sure about this, Key, because as a NBA player who came into the league with a college coach, I was on the team with Rick Pitino, and I didn't know no difference, coming in straight from college to the pro, dealing with a college coach. But
he had been there what?
He had been there like a year or two, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
But he was with the Knicks, though, before he went to Kentucky.
No, he went from Kentucky to Boston.
No, I'm saying he was
before that. He was definitely with the Knicks.
Knicks,
but he was an established college great coach.
Yeah.
And few championships or a couple at Kentucky, numerous NBA players. But in saying all that, I didn't know no difference, so I thought college was just like the pro coming in. So I'm like, oh, we get on the line, oh, this is what we do, and then, you hear the veterans whisper in the locker room, this is not the NBA. This ain't the NBA. And I just think with college coaches, that their patience wears thin when they've had success at the college level. Their patience runs thin in a player's league. So now you go from a college coach who's used to being the dictator to somewhat telling you what you need to do, where you need to be on time, to now the players are telling you what to do. So it's hard for college coaches to just make the transition to the pros, because now it's like, how do I respect you as a college coach? Maybe it'll be good for a young team coming in, a team that's going to probably listen to you, rookies, second, third-year players, but now you got LeBron, who's a strong personality, who's a strong light in the room.
Yep.
AD, if things don't go right from the jump, they can tune you out right away. I'm telling you, because if you're putting in a system that LeBron doesn't like, or he's off the ball, or AD doesn't like, and they looking at you like, what do you know? You're a college coach. Because I'm thinking of this as a pro, so it's about gaining that respect. Yeah, you've done it at the college level, but you didn't do it here. You've never done it here, not even as a player. So I thought J.J. Redick would have probably been a better fit.
Interesting.
Even though he has no coaching experience, he would have got more respect being that he played in the NBA, he knows LeBron, they're friends, and to come from somebody from...
Did your rookie year team quit on Pitino after a while? Like, did you feel that?
I felt like they started to tune him out a bit.
Okay.
We were running press. We were running college sets.
Yeah, they press.
We pressed. We got our big men at the front. And so I started hearing the veterans kind of tune him out, because the yelling, and from what I've seen from Coach Dan Hurley, he's very demonstrative in his coaching. That's not going to work in the NBA. So unless they have an understanding, I'm sure LeBron's going to have some conversations with him. He's going to have to change, because you're not talking to kids no more. You're talking to grown men with kids. You know what I'm saying? So that has to change, and I don't know how you can change a coach's personality who's been successful in what he's done. So for me, if I had to say between bad, good, and great, I think this is a bad fit for the Lakers.
Wow. Spoken like a true Celtic, right?
Of course he was going to say it was bad. They could have hired Pat Riley again. He said it's the worst thing ever.
I think that came from your heart, not your Celtic heart, just from your objective heart.
But LeBron, I understand exactly what you're saying, Paul, but y'all didn't have a LeBron on y'all team. LeBron, everybody's following him. So when he sets the standard...
Who was the vet when you came in the door?
So the vet when I came in the door was more Kenny Anderson, Dana Barros, but and another thing, I truly believe this, Skip and Key, that when you look at the coaches who are lined up for them jobs, I think none of them want to touch this. And I think it was a process of elimination.
Yeah.
And they're going to give him an offer he can't refuse. Like, coming from college, you get a chance to move to L.A., make a boatload of money.
Oh, he's right next door to his brother. His brother coaches at ASU.
And so I think it was a process of elimination.
Yeah.
And that nobody would touch it.
This does not pass the smell test for me, because all the gambling sites have reported for at least 2 weeks that J.J. Redick is a done deal.
What did I tell you?
You said you talked to somebody
that
inside.
That was a month ago.
At least a month ago.
That was a month ago.
Way in the beginning.
Said it's not happening.
Darvin was fired on May the 3rd, and this is June the 6th. Yeah. So it was right after a couple of days.
I told you, Skip, I said it's not happening.
Okay. Well, that apparently is becoming correct. But why would you go through multiple interviews with J.J. Redick, and then Borrego, and then Sam Cassell, and then Adelman? They have interviewed, they sat down with all these, reportedly, I wasn't there, but reportedly multiples with a couple of them, and at least one with the others.
When have they never done that? They've always done that.
Okay.
When they have not. They've always done that.
Woj is reporting that the primary focus, the target from day one, was Dan Hurley. I just find that a little hard to believe, because I'm more in Paul's camp, like, maybe these things didn't go so well.
Yeah.
Maybe they had JJ in their sights because the Athletic was just, and they're really good at what they do. They've just been flat out reporting it's a done deal because they see the next Pat Riley. I've read it for 2 weeks now.
I believe you.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, believe them.
I think JJ didn't want the job.
Well, it well could have happened. They could have talked and talked and talked it into oblivion where he finally just said, you know what? There are too many strings attached. You know, you got too many inter-office politics. We've read all the stories about you got the sort of the Kobe clique inside the Lakers and the Magic clique inside the Lakers. And maybe JJ finally said, you know what? I got a really good gig. I'm really enjoying my podcast and my television. And why would I inflict this upon myself? It's highly possible. All the rest of these guys, except for Sam Cassell, I think both of you liked the idea of Sam Cassell, right?
I didn't like it for Sam, no.
Yeah, I like it.
You did not?
I didn't.
Okay, but you do like him.
I do like Sam as a head coach in the NBA, but just not this seat.
Okay, so you know you're really down on the job itself.
On the job itself.
Okay.
I just think it's not a great
Even
job
though
right now.
to Key's point, I mean, you walk in the door and you got 2 top 10 players. I think they played like top 10s to me last year.
Yeah, that's
maybe they're hard to juggle and handle.
This is a job, it's a hot seat job.
Yeah.
Hot seat how?
You're on the hot seat. If things don't go well on LeBron-led teams, you're on the hot seat.
Yeah, but the Lakers aren't going to give somebody a crazy offer like they're reportedly getting ready to give Hurley to fire him in 2 years. It's about the future. It's about now for the next couple, and it's about the future. That's what it's about. And he could have very easily gone to Kentucky. He took his name out of that as soon as it opened up. Kentucky could pay him any amount of money. They choose to pay him way more than UConn could. Okay? It's a perfect situation for him. You talk about the state of college sports. They now have this profit-sharing deal where the schools can pay you now.
It could be a mess.
It could be a mess.
It just could be.
It's perfect opportunity for him to get out. And I understand LeBron James's track record on coaches have been, mixed bag, so to speak.
Say the least.
Yeah, say the least, right?
Yeah.
But in the end, Skip, there's only one Laker organization.
I do agree with that.
There's only one.
Yeah, there's only one Celtics and there's
when we line up to get you and we want you, we usually get you outside of Ty Lue because they screwed it up trying to tell this man to hire us as his assistants.
Okay. Now back to Paul's point about college coaches. When I scan this list of college coaches who have tried pro basketball, I don't see a single ring. I see no big success. I see no Jimmy Johnsons on here because Jimmy, we're talking about football, obviously, left Miami for Dallas, and a dynasty happened, right? For 2 years, they go back to back.
It's hard.
They could have won like 5 in a row, but you know what happened. The point is, I'm looking at, you brought up Billy Donovan, Brad Stevens, Rick Pitino, Calipari was with the Nets.
Yeah. No.
P.J. Carlesimo, Tim Floyd, Lon Kruger, Leonard Hamilton, Montgomery, Reggie Theus, Fred Hoiberg. Yeah. Okay, I can just go up and down the list. John Beilein didn't even last a year coming from Michigan to the Cavaliers. Yep. It's just hard because, listen, there's only one Jimmy Johnson, trust me, because I was there. He was a force of nature. And he was able to take what was basically an expansion team and remold it in his mode. You know, he put his stamp on a really, really bad football team. So this is different because you're walking in the door of a team a lot of people thought could contend and compete for the Western Conference Championship. So now I look at this, and by the way, Larry Brown doesn't qualify because he went the other way around. He started with the Nuggets. Before he went to UCLA. And I can make a case, by the way, if you really look at combined pro and college success, Larry Brown could be the greatest coach ever. Seriously, with both if you take them both into account, because he just kept turning around program after program on both levels. And then obviously won a championship
in Detroit
at your expense, right, in Detroit. But the history says no. So my all-time favorite Michael Jordan story was one night I'm covering a game at Nets, and John Calipari's the coach, and it's a first-round playoff game. Game 1 at Net, or no, it'd be game 3 because they had home court. But I'm watching Michael. He goes for 40-something, and every time up and down the court he'd score, he'd go point at Calipari. And I'm like, what is he doing? How does he even know Calipari? So I go to Michael after the game. I got him by myself, and I said, what was that about? He said, I don't even know him. I just don't like the way he operates during a game. Because Calipari was, he says he was strutting his stuff, you know, because Calipari just like up and down and up and down. Mike would point at him and say, sit your ass down, right? Because this isn't college, right? Okay, so that's my point. To your point, that's kind of the way a college coach will be viewed, and Dan's got that. Yeah, but he's got that going on.
But something tells me he's not going to be that way. Something tells me he's high energy. Something the Lakers probably need. Yeah. He's not a screamer or yeller at the players. No. He's just high energy. He's in the mix. He wants to be in the game. His dad was a coach.
Good, that's a good thing.
His dad was a coach.
Like a great coach.
His brother played and coached. And all. I mean, it just it something says that he'll understand how to make the adjustment faster than some of these other guys that are the stars on campus. And now I think he understands, I'm going in to coach LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I'm not going in to coach Keyshawn Johnson and Skip Bayless, okay? I'm going in to coach two guys that are Hall of Famers. So when we talk about these other coaches, outside of Billy Donovan, who else was coaching Hall of Famers? Billy Donovan coached the Hall of Famers with KD and Westbrook and company and James Harden and those guys. Yeah. But outside of that, who else was coaching Hall of Famers that came from college? So you got to instill what you know in them. Yeah. You can't take too much information from somebody that doesn't know. Paul Pierce didn't know.
How you gonna garner their respect?
Huh?
How you gonna garner their respect? You know what I'm saying? You walking into a locker room and you trying to implement your system and your culture. Like, how does that work as a college coach?
The veteran guys that are the Hall of Fame type players are gonna help you. That's what they there for. They gon'
so LeBron's gonna coach him.
They gonna help coaching. Yeah, this is about the future. This is what this is about. It ain't no way in the world the Lakers are hiring him to think they're getting ready to win the NBA final next year.
No.
I mean, they're not hiring him saying he's the guy who's going to get us over the hump. They may go and get my man from Utah if they could get him and bring him along with him. And now Utah start talking about NBA finals.
Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah, Lauri Markkanen. Now you can start talking about NBA finals. But they need LeBron to be on board because everybody's following LeBron. He's the message. Whatever LeBron says goes. That's just the bottom line. If LeBron drops his head in the locker room because he didn't like something Billy Donovan,
close enough.
Dan Hurley does. Yeah. Everybody else gonna look at LeBron and be like, well, I don't like it. He don't like it. That's just what happens.
Yet Woj also made the point that if in fact the Lakers take Bronny with the 55th overall pick, that you would have a college staff better equipped to sort of bring him along, you know, and coach him almost like he's still in his second year of college basketball, except in pro basketball. Does that click for you, or does it make any sense?
I mean, to me, I think this is going to be LeBron's last year. I mean, this is going to be him and enjoying his last year with his son. You know, just being able to be with him every day, show him the ins and outs of the NBA travel, the habits you got to have to be a successful NBA player. And I don't think it goes beyond this. Like, it's not going to be about the coach. It's not going to be about them winning the championship. I mean, obviously, it's about the future. It's about my last year. I get to do something that only one other father and son combination I was able to do, and that was the Grippies in baseball. And this is a hell of a ride off into the sun. And he's going to use that to keep a smile on his face, even though the Lakers aren't going to be competing for a championship as constructed. If something happens to where they get another all-star or a player comes in, that's all icing on the cake. But I think LeBron is satisfied the way his career is gone. He's arguably going to go down as 1-2, however, you know, when it's all said and done. You know, so I just really think this is about LeBron and his son, and this will be his finals year.
So, Keyshawn, there's a flip side to the point you make about how difficult it is to coach college sports now. And that is, Dan Hurley's got it going right now at Connecticut, where Yeah, you got to fight with the NIL that's going to turn into flat out just paying the players. And now you got to fight with the portal and all that. But the portal has started to benefit them because they are the dynasty, the reigning dynasty. So he would also have to make a choice. Do I want to walk away from, I don't know, could we win again? Could we win 3 of the next 4 years? Could we just continue to dominate? Could we have a 10-year run where we dominate college basketball? Would that be a surer shot and a better bet than to go to a Laker team with all the issues that you detailed?
They throwing a boatload of money.
What's your end goal, though, Skip? Is your end goal to be a college basketball lifer? If that's your end goal, then you should have just decided to stay or take the Kentucky job or whatever the case is. But if you have the ambitions, like there's being reported to be a pro basketball coach, here's an opportunity in a window. Now, Brad Stevens was getting offers along the way when he was at Butler. He turned them down a few times. But you can't turn down the Celtics. You just can't. You can't turn down the Lakers if they offer you. You just can't.
Yeah. So you believe he was the first offer?
Do I believe who was the first offer?
He was the first offer.
Yeah,
he got the first offer.
100%. I believe he was the first.
So none of these other candidates got an offer.
I believe, if anything, this is their first real negotiation in this cycle.
So why would you waste your time with J.J. Redick?
Because that's what you do. I have to, kick the cans. I have to look underneath the rug. I have to. I can't just go hire you, Skip.
Well, you could.
No, I can't.
Well, I mean, Phoenix just said, we want Budenholzer.
No, they didn't. They had already been talking to Budenholzer behind closed doors.
Okay, but it was clear, kaboom, we got him.
Yeah.
And he said, I want you, we want...
Because at the time that Budenholzer was hired, it made all the sense of the world. It was really the only... Who else was out there? He was the top name available at that time. So they went and got the top guy. With the Lakers, they got to answer to LeBron a little bit, AD a little bit, kind of figure it out, see where it's at. Every organization operates differently. I don't have a problem with the interviewing 50 people. They've always done this. Think about it, Skip. When have you ever known them to just go and hire a guy? It's always been rumored, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and he's in, he's out. And then they finally hire somebody. That's their practice. That's what they've always done. So I'm not down on it at all. I think it's a good hire because it's the now and the future.
All right, and the final point of order here would be, if he can command a boatload of money, can he command a boatload of power? Can he control the draft and free agency? Can he take it away from Rob Pelinka?
And win?
No.
Not right now.
No, not right now.
Not right. He doesn't know. He's a college coach. He's coming in. Eventually, this isn't football. This isn't Jim Harbaugh, who was in the pros, had a chance to see how to run the front office, go to Michigan, come back and say, I'm not coming unless I got the keys to the car.
Keys.
He's not there yet.
Yeah.
But he'll eventually, if he wins, then he'll have more power.
Yeah, I just remind you.
Than the GM.
Dan Hurley has the keys to the car right now at UConn.
Yeah, it ain't the same, though.
Yeah, well.
You getting ready to drive a Ferrari right now with the Lakers?
Yeah.
You had a nice little Mercedes-Benz SUV. That's what you had. Yeah, again, because he needed it in Connecticut. It's different. Cold, snow.
I thought you were going to go like Prius or something.
No, he ain't that cheap. No, he ain't that cheap. He need the roads, he need the tires and stuff like that. I can say one thing, though. He's an East Coast lifer. He better understand it's a little more calm out here in these streets. Don't be blowing your horn at folks when they don't get out your way.
I don't know. It's pretty crazy on these freeways. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
There's some nuts out here.
Yeah, that's why you got to be calm.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Now that Paul's Celtics got pushed to the back burner for our opening segment, let's get to tonight's Game 1. Paul's about to try to convince me his Celtics will win Game 1. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.